Hello friend, welcome to the course Foundations of R Software, and you can recall that in the last lecture we initiated a discussion on the data frame. So on this topic we had learned that what is this data frame, and in short means I can say the type of file that you try to create from Microsoft Excel and which you popularly call as MS Excel or a spreadsheet. This is equivalent to the concept of data frame in R software. So now as you know that in a spreadsheet you try to make different types of operations, and so our objective is that we want to learn that how we can make the same type of operation in the R software also. So in this lecture today we are going to continue on the topic of data frame, and first we are trying to learn that how you can create a data frame and then how you can do different types of operations on it, right. And as we have used the package mass in the last lecture, and we had used the data set painters in the last lecture. So we are going to continue to use the same and the same data set in this lecture also for illustrating different type of operations. So let us begin our lecture. Okay, so if you can recall that we had used the library mass to upload the package mass MASS, and after that we have used the data set PAINTERS painters, which had different types of column names like as composition, drawing, color, expression, school, and there were different row names which are the names of different painters, right. So this is only a small means excerpts of the data set, and it will look like this when you try to look it on the R console. Okay, now the first question comes here that whenever you are going to get a file from some external sources, you don't know is it data frame or something else, right. So if you want to test that whether the file which you have obtained is a data frame or not, so for that we use the command here is.data.frame, right. So you can see here that there are two dots here or two full stops here, one after is and another after data. So is this is dot data dot frame, right. So it is equivalent to like as other commands which you have used in the past like is dot numeric, is dot character, etc. So in order to use it you have to write this command, and inside the parenthesis you have to write down the name. So for example, if we want to test here whether this data set enters is a data frame or not. So I try to write down here PAINTERS all in lowercase alphabets, and it comes out to be here true, right. So this means this is a data set which is in the format of data frame, right. Now before I move forward in order to explain about different functions related to the data frame, the first question comes here how you can create a data frame. For example, here I am taking the example which is based on the built-in data frame, but suppose you have got different data set and if you want to create a data frame, how you can do it, right. So for that we have a command here data.frame, data.frame. So this is a function which is used to create the data frame by adding column vectors to the data frame. So suppose if I try to take here three different type of objects, and say I try to take here the numbers 1 to 16 and I store them in the variable x. Then I try to take here a matrix based on this 16 values, and I try to arrange them in the 4 by 4 matrix in which there are 4 rows and 4 columns, and this is here y, and then I try to take the alphabets, lowercase alphabets from A to up to here P, which are indexed from 1 to 16, and I try to store this under the variable name here z. So you can see here x is like here like this 1 to 16 numbers, then y here is this matrix, and z here is this 16 alphabets. And now I try to create here a data frame of x, y, z. So what you have to see is that I write down here data dot frame, and inside the parenthesis I try to write down all the variables separated by comma. Right. So, now you can observe what is really happening. So, this is your here x, and this is your here matrix, which is your here y, and this is your here z. So, if you try to see here x, it is the set of numbers from 1 to 16, and this is exactly the same what you have given here. Right. Similarly, if you try to see here this here z, this is here the set of lowercase alphabets from A to P, and this is the same set which you have taken here under Z. Now, if you try to look here at this matrix here y, so this is here like this, in which you can see the numbers from 1 to 16 are arranged column wise from 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes here, then 5, 6, 7, 8, then come here, then 9, 10, 11, 12, and then come here, then 13, 14, 15, 16. Now, if you try to see what is happening in this data frame. So, in this data frame, if you try to see here, first I am trying to make here a block. This is here your matrix y. But after this, if you try to see, this matrix is repeated here 4 times. Because in the data frame, the number of data values for each of the column remain the same. So, what it has done that there were 4 observation in a row 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in another column there are 16 observations. So, it has repeated the matrix y 4 times here. Right. So, that is what is happening here. Okay, so that is what you have to be watchful when you are trying to create different data frames, right? Because in data frame there is a condition that the number of elements in every column should be the same, and even the number of elements in the rows for different row names could be the same, right? Otherwise, R will try to adjust it automatically, and the way it is trying to adjust, that is the thing which you have to understand, right? So, you have to be extremely careful when you are trying to create the data frame. So, you can see here this is the screenshot of the same outcome, and this is here the data frame that you have just created, right. So, let me try to show you these operations first on the R software, and then I try to move forward, right. So, I try to create here this 3 variables here. So, you can see here x is here like this, y here is like this, and z here is like this, right. And then I try to create here a data frame, and I try to store it in a name DATAFR. So, data frame, and then I try to write down here x, y, and here z, right. And then if you try to see what is this value, it is here like this. So, that is exactly the same thing which I shown you on this screenshot also, right here. Okay, so now after this I come to another aspect, and we try to consider some more operation which can be done on our data frame. So, for that I am just going to use data set on painters. So, first question I try to address here is that how can you see the structure of the data, right, the structure of the data frame. For example, if you want to know what type of variables are there, how many observations are there, etc. in a given data frame. So, the command here is str. Str is the short form structure. So, this will become here str, and inside the parenthesis you have to write here painters, PAINTERS, and you will get here this type of outcome. If you try to see what is telling you here, the first line is indicating that this painters is a data frame, and it has 54 observations on 5 variables, right. And then it is trying to give you the name of those variables which are here: composition, drawing, color, expression, and the school. And then after that it is trying to give you the type of observation these variables are having. For example, it is written here int. So, int means here integer, right. So, you can see here the data on the composition is integer, the data on drawing, color, expression is integer, but the data on the school is factor. And if you try to see, this is exactly what we had learnt in the last lecture also, right. And after that, it is trying to give you briefly the some values of the data, so that you can understand that what type of data is available, right. So, this command str will give you the structure of the data frame, and if you can see here, this is the screenshot of the same operation. Okay. After this, if you want to extract a variable from a data set, how to get it done? And if you try to recall that we had very briefly discussed this operation in the last lecture also, but here I would now like to give you a formal explanation. So, the rule is very simple. Whenever you want to extract a particular variable from a data frame, you have to write down the name of the data frame, and then you have to write down here the sign color operator, and after that you have to write down the variable name. That is all. Right, as simple as that. So, for example, if you want to extract the variable say school from the data set or data frame inters, you have to simply write down here the name of the data frame PAINTERS, and then color operator, and then school, and then you have to keep in mind that this variable name has to be exactly in the same way as it is mentioned. Right. So, if you really want to know what is the exact spelling, the best is to first use the operator column names and COLNAMES to find out the column names, and then try to use these names over here. Right. So, you can see here these are the values that are stored in this variable, and this is here the screenshot of the same operation. Okay. And now, in case if you want to extract a particular data set from a data frame, then how to get it done? So, this operation is something like as you have done a similar operation in the matrix, that when you wanted to access a particular element in the matrix, a particular value which is located at a particular row and a particular column inside the matrix. Right. So, similarly in the case of data frame also, you have to write down the square brackets, and within the square brackets you have to write the address of the row and the address of the column, and which are separated by comma, right. And then you try to enter. So, it will try to give you the value which is available at that particular row and particular columns intersection, right. So, suppose you want to extract the information on the first pointer, which is here Dowdine, and you want to see the value of the composition. So, if you try to recall this Dowdine, it is in the row and composition is here in the column. So, if you try to write down here the name of the data frame as PAINTERS, and then inside the square brackets try to write down this row name here. So, now this is here a name, not a number. So, you have to write down the name in the double quotes Dowdine, and that is the same name which is given in the data set, and then you have to write down the name of the column which is here composition, right. And if you try to see here, it will come out of here like this 10, and this you can see here, this is the screenshot, and if you really want to see, you can see here in this one, this was the value here. If you try to see like this, so this was here like this. So, this is here the row name Dowdine, and then it is here composition column, and its value here is 10. So, that is exactly I have shown you here, but without going into the screenshot, I have shown you with the R commands, right. And the advantage of finding out these variable is that you can use them just like any other variable. For example, if you want to create a plots and graphic on such variable. For example, if you simply want to create a bar plot, although we have not discussed it, we will try to discuss different types of graphics soon in the forthcoming lectures. But this is the command here that you have to write down here, the command table, TABLE, and inside the parenthesis you have to write the name of the variable. So now you can see here the name of the variable comes out to be like this, painters color school, and then you can create the bar plot here like this. And similarly, if you want to create a pie chart, for that we will try to discuss it in more detail in the forthcoming lecture, but you can use here the command here pie and then the same table and the variable name. So you can see here you get the pie chart also. Right. So that is the advantage of using such names. But now, before going into more detail, let me try to first show you these operations on the R console. Right. So first of all, you have to upload here the package. So I try to use here the library mass, and then if you try to see here, the painters here is like this. Right. So you can see here, this is the name of the Dowdine, and this is here the name of the variable composition, and its value here is 10, which I just shown you, right. But suppose if you do not know what is this data frame, and if you want to know the structure of this painters, so you can see here this will give you, this is the data frame which has got 54 observations on 5 variables and so on, and it has all such information, right. And similarly, after that, if you want to extract here a school, so as I said, the best approach is that you try to first see the column names, otherwise we can always make a mistake, right. So now if you want to see what is the data on any variable, what you have to do here, you simply have to write down the name of this data frame, which is here painter, and then you can write down here composition. If I try to see here, right. So composition here you can see here like this, right. And similarly, if you try to see here for the school, if you simply write down here painters and here is school, you get here like this, right. And similarly, if you want to create here suppose here some diagrams on it, so I can use here the say here this command here bar plot on here is schools. So this will be table, and then here this bar plot, and if you try to see here, you get here this type of curve, right. And similarly, if you try to use here the pie chart, so you can see here you will get here this type of graphic. So you can see here that doing such operation is not very difficult. And similarly, if you want to obtain any particular observation from here also, so you can see here, suppose I want to have the data on the Dowdine and composition, I want to know the value, it is here like this. Similarly, if you want to know what is the value of a school, you can see here this will come out to be here like this, right. And if you want to see here this value, you can see here this is here the value of the school here in Dowdine, and the composition value here is 2. Similarly, if you want to know this about this painter Giulio Romano, and if you want to know the value of his drawing, so this is here, you can see here 16. So I try to use here, and I try to write down here the name, and then I try to write down here the drawing. So you can see here this value comes out of here 16, as such what you have obtained there. Right. So you can see here that obtaining this type of information is not very difficult, and similarly you can do different type of these calculations on this extracted variables also. Right, so now we come to an end to this lecture, and you can see that this was also a short lecture, and I have taken very small number of commands here, because my objective is that I want to give you some time so that you can settle down these concepts in your mind, and you can have some time to practice these commands. So gradually I will try to build up more commands in the next lecture. So I would request you that why don't you take up any data set which you have created in the format of any spreadsheet or in your MS Excel, and try to see how you can get the same information in the R software also. Right. So you try to practice, and I will see you in the next lecture. Till then, goodbye.